Cowboy Carson Hocevar is already setting records at Texas Motor Speedway, and Kyle Busch reminisces about the good old days after turning 40 years old. How's it going, y'all? My name is Eric. Welcome to Out of the Groove on the Go. Didn't have to go too far for this one, however. My normal studio is only about 45 minutes down the road. We are here at Texas Motor Speedway. Cup Series practice and qualifying just wrapped up. The Xfinity Series race is about to go green. It's probably over by the time you're watching this video. But I wanted to make this video to share some interesting comments I heard from NASCAR Cup Series drivers this weekend. We'll start with Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch is getting a lot of extra attention this weekend, partially because Richard Childress Racing is debuting a brand new, beautiful paint scheme on that number 8 Chevy, but also part of it is because Kyle Busch just celebrated his 40th birthday, the big 40. Look, in stock car racing, 40 is like the new 30. So many great NASCAR drivers have gone on to win many races past the age of 40. Shoot, Harry Gant put together a borderline Hall of Fame career in his 50s. Mark Martin won 5 races in his age 50 season. So Kyle Busch very much in his prime, but folks are asking the question. Jeff Gluck of The Athletic asked Kyle, now that you're 40, does anything feel a little different?
40 being a number seems like an old number, but thankfully I don't feel 40, so at least there's a positive in that. I don't feel much different than I did probably 7 years ago at least, so I feel like that's a positive of it and a good thing of it.
Busch was also asked if this milestone has him reminiscing at all about his racing career, and Kyle said,
You think back to the good old days, and certainly take a lot from those days, and I tried as much as I could in those times to be able to hold those days together and carry the dream team as long as I could, but it just wasn't meant to be. So, here we are today, just kind of reminiscing on that and wanting to just get back to the ways of being competitive and up front and winning races and, carry that like Denny has. I mean, Denny's done a great job. He's, 43, 44, still winning races, winning them at, more than one a clip a year. So that's admirable and something that I want to do.
It's interesting to hear him point to Denny Hamlin as sort of inspiration or motivation. I mean, Denny Hamlin, I believe, is 44 years old, already has 2 wins on the season. To my point earlier, many race car drivers have great success in their mid-40s and beyond. You also heard in that clip Kyle Busch allude to his time at Joe Gibbs Racing as the good old days. And I don't know about you guys, but when he said that, I felt a twinge of sadness. Like, I know he's just being honest. He was a champion in 2015, 2019. Those were the good old days. But I guess just my nature is not so much to dwell on the past, but instead is to focus on the present, focus on the future. I guess just between those comments and the video that NASCAR put out on their social media channels this week, that video not only celebrated Kyle Busch's birthday, but also looked back at his career. And I don't know, it was very Joe Gibbs Racing focused. I get it. The vast majority of Kyle's success came at JGR, but like in that video, Joe Gibbs was interviewed, JGR team president Dave Alpern was interviewed, shoot, even Brad Keselowski of Roush was interviewed, but not one person from Richard Childress Racing was featured. Not RC himself, not Andy Petrie, not Randall Burnett. It was just kind of strange to me that it was so JGR slanted. Like, I remember as a kid when my favorite driver, Matt Kenseth, moved from Roush to Joe Gibbs Racing, ironically, nobody was asking him about, remember your time at Roush? Remember your championship season in 2003? Like, it wasn't until after Matt Kenseth retired that suddenly he began to celebrate his Roush career, and when he was inducted into the Hall of Fame, his former crew chief Robbie Reiser was there giving a speech. Like, all of the Roush reminiscing happened after Matt retired, not while Matt was still at Joe Gibbs Racing trying to contend for wins. I still believe Kyle Busch is very focused on the here and now, trying to make the most of this Richard Childress Racing situation, but I guess I get mixed emotions when he openly talks about the good old days at Joe Gibbs Racing. But now, speaking of focusing forward, Kyle Busch is a 63-time NASCAR Cup Series winner, 9th on the all-time wins list. Richard Childress Racing has a couple wins here at Texas Motor Speedway in recent years. Kyle Busch is riding a 67-race winless streak. Can he snap that streak this weekend at Texas Motor Speedway? I asked him about that before qualifying today. This is what Kyle said.
Yeah, I hope so. We put I mean, we put emphasis on every weekend, but we put some more on this weekend and being able to come out here and be fast and have some speed. So, cars have been faster this year, so that's been a positive, and hopefully that speed translates again this weekend.
Moving on, this is the first race I've covered in person since Circuit of the Americas, 8-9 races ago. So I haven't had the chance to talk to many drivers who swapped rides in the offseason. I asked Chase Briscoe, who's now with Joe Gibbs Racing, 12th in points. I asked him how he's adjusting to new crew chief James Small.
James is super, super dedicated. Like, I've never met somebody that works harder in my life. Nothing against my other crew chiefs, but just James, like, that's all he does and eats, sleeps, and breathes. He doesn't have kids or anything like that, so he just really puts all of his effort into trying to bring the fastest car every week. So it's been really good. The Australian lingo and accent's been a little hard to understand on the radio, but I feel like I'm getting better at that. But yeah, James has been really, really good. Truthfully, he's obviously a super intense guy, but I kind of feel like I kind of need that because I'm pretty laid back. So it's been really good. I think right now, I don't feel like we're even close to our full potential. And from a speed and a finishing standpoint, we've had some pretty good runs, which is encouraging because I feel like we're not even close to what we're capable of. So yeah, looking forward to just continuing for James and I to grow. And I feel like once we finally start hitting our stride, we're going to be really good.
Now I'm not surprised that there was maybe a little bit of tension between James Small and Martin Truex Jr. last season. James Small, as Briscoe puts it, eats, breathes, and sleeps race car setup. Well, Martin Truex Jr., he was off fishing sometimes. At the very end of his Hall of Fame career, I can't picture Martin Truex Jr. scrutinizing the squiggly SMT lines Monday through Friday. It sounds like so far Chase Briscoe, still young, grinding, is a good fit for James Small. I picked this team to make the playoffs at the beginning of the year. Right now, like I said, they're 12th in the regular season standings. They're holding on to a playoff position on points. Would not be surprised if they nabbed a win at some point. I like the Briscoe JGR combo. We'll have to keep watching to see how they keep figuring it out. I also got the chance to talk to Zane Smith for the first time this year, who returned to Front Row Motorsports in the offseason. Remember, last season he spent his rookie cup year in a weird Spire Trackhouse combo situation. He discussed some of the awkwardness there and talked about how he's adjusted to his new team today.
It's a really fun group to work with, and I'm loving that part of it. I'm just simply a part of just a better situation. I was in a pretty awkward and weird situation last year, and we made the most out of it, and I felt we really turned our year around after Nashville last year, and to be able to carry that momentum in that the back half of the year I had from last year into this year right away feels really good, and it's exciting. So I honestly was expecting going into this, like the first seven races and then the break, myself and Ryan were basically saying, let's use those 7 races to learn about each other, and I thought it was going to take some time, but I felt we hit the ground running, and we've been getting better and better, and I feel deserve better finishes. Some things just simply haven't gone our way, but
Zane Smith is 23rd in points, won the pole at Talladega. Strong qualifying effort today, though not quite as strong as Carson Hocevar. Carson Hocevar set the fastest single lap speed in qualifying. He was pretty darn good on the 5 and 10 lap averages. Wins the pole, the youngest pole winner in Texas Motor Speedway history. Remember, Carson got his first truck win here 2 years ago. I asked him before qualifying today why he likes Texas Motor Speedway so much.
Well, for some reason, always been fast here, which I've been able to take into the Cup side, especially. I've always kind of ran good on Sundays here too, with how good Kyle is here and Hendrick. We can lean on that and have our own knowledge and notebook that you kind of put both of those together a little bit. That we could improve on that a little bit more.
The Hendrick cars have certainly been fast here in the past. Larson led the most laps here a season ago. Carson Hocevar outpaced the Hendrick Chevrolets in qualifying. I mentioned him on Friday, I believe yesterday. Carson Hocevar, one to watch this weekend, proving me right so far. So far, key word. While we're on the topic of Texas Motor Speedway more broadly, obviously it's my home track. I grew up coming here, so I am biased. I'll admit it's not a great racetrack. It's abnormally sketchy, especially in turn 2 behind me, and even turn 4 last year we saw bite a lot of top drivers racing up front. Last year's 400-mile race had 16 cautions. We saw in the truck race last night, double-digit cautions, double overtime finish. Like, this track, I use this word a ton, is sketchy. Several drivers today weighed in on the sketchiness of Texas Motor Speedway and if it could ever become more racy than sketchy in the not-so-distant future.
It's the progressive banking, Homestead progressive banking, Kansas progressive banking. Here at Texas, it's just the shortest way around, it's the fastest way around, so anything you can do to just get down to that white line and, cover that on the guy behind you, then it just screws up his arrow, and then he can't make a run on you.
This place seems to be getting grayer and grayer, and it's a very interesting asphalt they use, so it just doesn't really act like, porous asphalt like other places used to, so we'll see.
Yeah, this place is so challenging because there's so many variables. You have all the cautions, and guys can flip track position really, really easily. So, yeah, hopefully tomorrow will be a little more tame and a little bit more of a traditional race, but if not, just have to hope you get the strategy right and be really aggressive on all that.
It's a little strange because it seems like it's aged a lot. You look at it and it's really light, but, when you go out there and drive, it doesn't always feel that same way. It still feels pretty on edge, but I like it. I enjoy it. Some guys really don't, but I still have fun coming here and racing, even with this layout. The old layout obviously was a lot different, but I still really enjoy it.
In the next-gen era, we have averaged 14 cautions per race at Texas Motor Speedway. So no matter what you think of this track, tomorrow afternoon's event is going to be action-packed, topsy-turvy, unpredictable. I will be here post-race to react to everything that happens. You'll hear from more drivers tomorrow night. Appreciate you watching this video, folks. Hope you enjoyed. Hope tomorrow's race is a good one. I will see you post-race. Have a great rest of your night, folks. Thanks for watching.